Last Halloween, Art the crazy clown drenched a city in blood, but that was not the end of the story. In the silence of the morgue, Art, with a sinister trick, used the doctor's corpse to rebuild himself and came back to life. This was only the beginning of the nightmare that continues in Terrifier 2. Welcome to Filmoro Recap. Thank you for being here, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Art, his face covered in blood, enters the laundry room, waiting for his next victims. He sees a worker sleeping on a chair. Then, Art takes off his own clothes and throws them into the washing machine. But then he notices a little clown girl approaching him. The two start to play, but the worker wakes up and sees Art playing with an imaginary entity. Art puts on his wet clothes and, using a mop handle, kills the worker and leaves. But this is not the end. The film then jumps to the next Halloween. We see a teenage girl named Sienna preparing her Halloween costume. Her outfit is a warrior angel with a pair of wings and a sword, designed by her cartoonist father, who sadly passed away due to a brain tumor. At the dinner table, Sienna tells her mother, Barbara, that her brother Jonathan intends to dress as the serial killer Art the Clown for Halloween. But Barbara stops him. After dinner, Sienna expresses concern about Jonathan's recent behavior, as he constantly follows stories about killers. Barbara explains that these actions are attention-seeking behaviors after their father's death. Meanwhile, Jonathan is investigating Art's murders from the previous year and pulls a notebook from a drawer. All the information about last year's killings is collected in that notebook. Sienna dreams of a film shoot for advertising a clown cafe and breakfast cereals owned by Art. Art gives gifts to everyone, but when it's Sienna's turn, he gives her a disgusting box filled with worms. Then, Art pulls out a machine gun and starts firing at everyone on set. He sets one of the actors on fire and then approaches Sienna to burn her too. But Sienna pulls her father's sword from a cereal box. The sword resists Art's fire, but the nightmare continues. When Sienna wakes from the nightmare, she finds her room on fire. Barbara puts out the fire with a fire extinguisher, scolding her for leaving a candle burning in the room. But Sienna is sure she had extinguished all the candles before sleeping. She goes to her room and sees that the only thing completely unharmed after the fire is her father's sword. In the schoolyard, Jonathan and his friends find a dead opossum. After class, in the school hallway, Jonathan sees Art with the little clown girl slaughtering that same dead opossum. When they notice Jonathan, they throw the opossum's body at him. Jonathan runs away in terror, but the school principal, witnessing the scene, assumes Jonathan is responsible. He reports Jonathan's strange behavior to Barbara. After school, Sienna and her friend Allie go to a Halloween store to buy a new pair of wings for Sienna. Suddenly, Sienna notices Art staring at her. She passes by him in fear. At the checkout, she realizes she left her purse downstairs. At that moment, Art brings her purse without saying a word. Art starts whistling and honking next to Sienna to scare her. The shop owner warns Art not to cause trouble. Sienna runs out in fear, but Art calmly walks to the door, locks it, and kills the poor shop employee. Later, he uses the employee's severed head as a Halloween decoration. But this is just the beginning of Art's madness. Sienna returns home. Jonathan shows her their father's design notebook and believes there is a hidden connection between their father and the Art incidents, because their father meticulously illustrated all the details of last year's murders, even Art's clear face. One of the drawings shows Sienna in her warrior angel costume, killing the clown with her sword. Jonathan anxiously tells her, if these drawings are real, tonight, on Halloween, something will happen to you. Sienna is shocked, and just at that moment, Barbara enters the room. She tells the story of Jonathan's school incident. And no matter how much Jonathan insists that the slaughter of that animal was Art's doing, Barbara doesn't believe him. After the argument, Sienna takes a shower and puts on her warrior angel costume. Barbara smiles and admits, if your father were alive now, he would be proud of you. Sienna gives a faint smile and heads to the club to meet Brooke and Allie. Meanwhile, Allie, alone at home, is handing out candy to the kids until she hears the door. When she opens it, Art is standing right in front of her. Allie laughs and says he's just giving candy to the kids and closes the door. But Art bangs hard on the door. Terrified, Allie asks for a promise. If he gives her candy, he will leave. As she closes the door and starts getting ready, she hears a sound from downstairs. She cautiously goes down and sees the patio glass shattered. Suddenly, her eyes fall on the kitchen. Art is there, armed with scissors and a knife. Allie screams in horror and tries to run, but Art attacks and violently dismembers her. A little later, Allie's mother returns home. Seeing the broken glass, she searches for her daughter. When she enters Allie's room, she witnesses an unbelievable scene. Art sitting beside Allie's skinned body, laughing. Then we see him decapitating Allie's mother and using her head as a bowl to distribute Halloween candy. Art the Clown has some very special guests tonight. At the club, Sienna and Brooke are still waiting for Allie, but there is no sign of her. Brooke, drunk, introduces her boyfriend Jeff to Sienna and tries to keep the atmosphere normal. Meanwhile, at home, Barbara and Jonathan argue again about the school incident. Jonathan shows his mother their father's design notebook to prove his point, but Barbara angrily tears the notebook and shouts, "Your father was a psycho. I never want to see this notebook again." Jonathan angrily replies, "You're a tyrant." Barbara slaps him hard, and he runs out of the house. Barbara, furious, goes to the garage and finds the car completely dirty with toilet paper, pumpkins, eggs, and shaving cream. Thinking Jonathan did it, she calls Sienna. Sienna defends her brother and, for the first time, shows her true feelings. With a trembling voice, she says, "I love you, Mom." But Barbara still insists she shouldn't drink at the party. Sienna promises, but shortly after, in the midst of dancing and excitement, she drinks anyway. Meanwhile, Jonathan is walking when a car approaches and honks. As he gets closer, he sees the little clown girl inside the car and hears the screams of his mother. Panicked, he runs towards home. At the same moment, Barbara is cleaning the car in the garage when suddenly she sees Art sitting inside. She barely has time to react before Art shoots at her. Barbara is killed. When Jonathan arrives at the house, he sees Art smearing mashed potatoes over his mother's broken face. He runs in fear, but Art chases him and injects him with an unknown substance, rendering him unconscious. At the party, amid the dancing, shouting, and colored lights, Sienna suddenly notices the little clown girl staring at her. As she moves closer, her heartbeat rises, until she suddenly suffers a nervous breakdown and begins screaming. The terrified crowd watches. They leave the party to go home. Unaware that the real nightmare is just beginning, the little clown girl, imitating Jonathan's voice, calls him and asks him to come help her at the old carnival. When Sienna arrives at the location, she gets out of the car to find her brother. At the same time, Brooke tells Jeff that Sienna's father had a large brain tumor, a tumor that caused hallucinations, violent behavior towards his family, and eventually led to his own death. At that moment, the little clown girl sends a message to Sienna, saying she is trapped in a place called Terrifier. But just when everything seems calm, Jeff starts using drugs and tries to get close to Brooke. He steps out of the car to go to the bathroom, but this decision will be his last mistake. Art appears from the darkness and attacks him, mutilating his genitals. Then he smashes the car window and, with animalistic rage, drags Brooke out of the car. Brooke screams in terror, runs, and calls Sienna's name, but it's too late. Art catches her and violently dismembers her body. Sienna hears her friend's screams and runs toward the sound, only to be confronted by a nightmarish scene. Brooke's dismembered body lying on the ground. And at that very moment, she sees Art right in front of her. Jonathan, who has just regained consciousness, reappears. Sienna screams in terror for him to run, but Art attacks her, savagely beating her until she falls to the ground. Art releases her for a moment to go after Jonathan. Jonathan hides in a corner. A few seconds of silence. But when he steps out of his hiding spot, directly in front of him, Art is standing. He attacks Jonathan with a knife, but Sienna comes from behind and strikes Art's head with a spiked baton. They seize the opportunity and escape, but it's not over yet. Art reappears and lashes out at them with a whip. Sienna hits him on the head with a metal rod and tries to get out, but Art attacks her from behind and attempts to strangle her. Jonathan rushes to help his sister, grabs the gun hidden in Art's costume, and fires a few shots, but even this is not enough. Art endures, attacks Jonathan, and knocks him down. Then he grabs the sword, strikes Sienna, and throws her lifeless body into a pit. Sienna falls into the water tank and loses consciousness, but the ordeal isn't over. Art goes after Jonathan and begins biting him. Jonathan screams, calling out his sister's name. At that moment, Sienna's sword starts glowing. The wound on her abdomen closes, and she comes back to life. Sienna emerges from the water, raises the sword, and strikes Art with a furious scream. Finally, just as she had seen in her father's drawings, she decapitates Art. The brother and sister embrace each other, but at that very moment, the little clown appears, picks up Art's severed head, and walks away to end the middle of the credits. We see Vicky, who has been hospitalized after killing Monica in the asylum. Suddenly, she begins bleeding from her genital area in her room and writes her name and Art's on the wall with her own blood, then laughs loudly. A nurse enters to check on her and is confronted with a horrifying scene. Vicky has supernaturally become pregnant and gives birth to Art's head. With a maniacal laugh, the screen goes dark and the movie ends. If you enjoyed this recap, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. See you later.